2022 South Florida market recap time, folks. Anthony Lamacchia here, broker owner of Lamacchia Realty, and I am here to break down the 2022 housing market for you and talk about what I see for this year in 2023. Our marketing team did a fantastic job putting together an extensive 2022 year in review report. I want to review that with you. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about 2023 and also talk about what does this mean for buyers and sellers. Buyers, I will start with you for a minute. Then I'm going to talk to sellers. Then we are jumping into the numbers. Home buyers, you've been waiting for this. You were hoping for this opportunity. 2 years straight, from May of 2020 to May of 2022, the market was pure insanity. Everybody competing for properties, buyers fighting over properties, properties selling over asking, and prices going up continuously. You're going to see in a minute the prices for all of 2022 were undoubtedly up over 21, but sales were down. Why? Because demand backed off. Why? Because mortgage interest rates finally adjusted upward. 1 year ago right now, at the end of January 2022, mortgage interest rates were about 3.7, 3.8%. Now we're at about 6%. That, folks, makes it more expensive for a buyer to buy, and you home sellers have to be aware of that. You cannot play your hand as if this is still 2021 or 2020, because it's not. You've got to be more realistic, okay? So buyers, you should be happy that the market's changed. In the fall, it was a great time to buy because tons of buyers went into hiding. They were in hibernation. But the one benefit now compared to the fall is rates are lower, okay? Rates now are about 6%. End of September, early October, rates were higher. They were at about 7%. So that's good news. Prices have calmed down a bit since then. I hate to say dipped, but they've backed off a little bit from their peak in May and June. And now we're in a situation where they've come down to earth, not quite to earth, but they've settled a bit and prices are lower. This is interest rates are lower. That's a good thing. But there is more demand again since the first of the year. And truth be told, buyers didn't even wait till the first of the year this year. It was the day after Christmas, things picked up again dramatically. So we are back to seeing multiple offer situations. We're back to seeing some stuff selling over asking, but it's not like it was. So that's a little bit for buyers and sellers. Let's jump into the numbers. I want to show you the numbers. I want to show you what is going on out there so that you know how to navigate things, whether you are a buyer or a seller, so that you have knowledge of what's going on. Let's click on this beautiful image our marketing team puts together, and we're going to look at the comparison between 21 and 22 right there in front of you. Home sales down 20%. Look at that. In South Florida, okay, we're talking Palm, Broward, Miami-Dade counties. We had 117,000 sales in 2021. It was the most sales since 05. 2022, getting closer back down to earth, 93,000 sales. Prices up 7%. Average sale price for a single family or condo in those three counties, $682,000, highest ever. The amount of homes listed down 8%. That 8% down actually is not down as much as we are seeing in most of the northern states, and there's a reason for that. We are already seeing people who bought properties, particularly condos, back when the market was very, very hot, and we were in a situation where people wanted to get out of particularly the northern states that were more restrictive and go to Florida. We are already seeing those folks, in some cases, sell those condos. The new condo guidelines and things like that are having an impact. So let me keep scrolling down. If I look at total home sales, you will see here, I'm not going to go county by county, every single category, but broad strokes here showing you what's going on. The amount of home sales noticeably lower for pretty much most of the year. From April on, as we had summarized here, home sales are down. Look at the blue bar. So they were up they were up in January, even in February, slightly down in March, and then it's down every single month for the rest of the year, particularly in the second part of the year, which is when we normally see markets adjust and markets slow down. That is Broward County. We go into Miami-Dade, same thing. Look at the light blue bars, all down, okay? Miami-Dade, it took an extra month, took till we got to April to be down instead of March like Broward, but they're all down for the rest of the year. Again, I'm talking about total home sales, not prices. Palm Beach County, look at this, down in March, down every month since then. So things backed off a bit. Once interest rates started going up, then when they really went up in the summer, things dramatically changed. But take a look at prices for all three counties, single families and condos. Look at this. 2011, the average was about 250,000. Right now, we are at 634,000 for condos and single families. This is significant. This is almost 3 times that prices have gone up in 10 or 12 years, 10 or 11 years. It's significant. And you need to be aware of that because I know you buyers, you love fretting over, oh my God, maybe prices will fall out. Maybe they'll collapse. I don't see a collapse coming for Florida. I do see a bit of an adjustment coming, a bit more than in the northern states, and there's some specific reasons why, but I don't see a collapse. This is not a 2008 scenario. Now, if we look at Miami-Dade, look at this. Prices at $1 million. $1 million for a single family average right now compared to $250 back in 2011. Now, does that mean if a house, a regular single family house was worth $250 in 2011, it's undoubtedly worth $1 million now? No, not necessarily. Here's why. Miami has major ultra luxury properties, and those are pulling up the average. But your average of your home is up at least 2 times, likely 3 times, and potentially 4 times since 2011. So keep that in mind if you're feeling negative about housing. Now we look at Palm Beach County, same thing. Prices are up close to $1 million. And for single family condos are a lot lower at 400. So Broward is where the condos and single families are more similar with their pricing. Miami-Dade singles are ahead. Palm Beach County singles are up much more. Inventory of homes for sale. This, folks, right here is why I do not expect to see prices just fall out. Take a look right now, the amount of single families. So this here says Broward County inventory by year. We're going to add something that says December 31st on that. But if you look at it, it shows 4,000-ish condos for sale, 3,000-ish single families for sale. Folks, look at 5-8 years ago. We're talking double that or close to double that. You go back to 2008, 2006, and 2007, it's triple, 3-4 times higher. So that's why I don't see prices totally falling out. I see an adjustment, but I don't see them falling out. Take a look here. Same thing for Miami, inventory by year. Palm Beach County, not as dramatic. But look when you go back to 11, how much higher it was. So that's why we're seeing that. In addition, another change that I'm seeing from the northern states right here, homes listed for sale. This is the amount of homes listed for sale in 2022, 42,000. Down from the 3 years prior, but not down dramatically. Not down as much. It's about 10% down. Northern states, we're seeing 20, 25% down. That's because some people are selling their second homes. Some people that bought in Florida, their condo fees are going up, and they're saying, you know what? I want out of this thing. Let me go. Pending's down a bit. A lot of consistency here with the rest of the country, but a little more dramatic. Now, you jump into 2022 and beyond. You get into 23. There's 2 specific things that I talk about here. First one is homeowners insurance, okay? Homeowners insurance, the game has changed for a couple of reasons. Hurricane Ian had a dramatic impact in the fall months. I'm going to enlarge this text. Had a dramatic impact in the fall months, and Floridians are having to pay the price. Governor DeSantis came out with some very specific legislation to tackle this problem. And one of the things that he said is, we're going to make it more expensive for those that don't live here. I can't say I blame him for that. That's going to drive up my cost. I plan to buy something there very soon. So it's going to drive up my cost for the next 15 or so years till I'm there more full time. But I think he's right about that. Because of that, you're going to see more second homeowners sell their properties, less second homeowners come in, thereby backing off the demand. In addition to the homeowner insurance problem, we are also seeing right here, after the Champlain Tower collapse in Surfside, stricter condo association regulations. Folks, this is also something that is happening by way of legislation. Condo associations are being required to hold more money in reserves, and frankly, they should. It has gotten way too out of hand. There's associations that aren't saving money. Homeowners that are watching, you may be frustrated to hear me say that. Condo owners that are hearing me say this and watching me, you might say, what is this guy talking about? I can't afford it. If you can't afford it, I'm truly sorry. I am. But there needs to be money held in reserves. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the lenders that back these mortgages, they got more strict a year ago with condo lending because of what happened at the Champlain Towers. The legislation is getting more strict. Condo associations as a whole are getting more strict, and they're raising condo fees because they realize they need to keep more money on hand. They need to be better prepared to be able to handle problems that are, when things are wrong with condos. You have to remember, buyers, when you buy a condo, you're not just buying your own place. You are buying a fraction of the whole thing. That makes you responsible for the fraction of the whole thing, the whole place. I shouldn't say thing. You have to accept that. So when I sit before you today and I talk to buyers and sellers, because that's who's going to watch this, including and also realtors, I will be brutally honest with you. I expect in the next 3 or 4 months, prices will not dip at all. The activity's back. People are buying. There's multiple offer situations. But I wouldn't be surprised that if in the second half of the year, we see a bit of a slowdown in the price appreciation, and we potentially even see some price depreciation like we saw in the second part of 22. And I wouldn't be shocked if a year from now, we look back and say, prices settled down a little bit, 3%, 4%, 5%. I don't know how much. I don't have a crystal ball. But I think we're going to see some of that overall. And I think with condos, it might be a little bit more dramatic. But that makes for a great time to get in. You buy something now, even if it's worth slightly less in a year, 2 years from now, it's likely going to be worth more. 3 years from now, more. Okay? Look at the graph that I showed you. Prices have gone up dramatically in the last 10 to 11 years in the state of Florida. I expect that to happen over the next 10 to 11, but we're probably going to have some bumpy seas here in the next couple of years as the market finds its equilibrium overall across the country, but also it's going to be a little bit tougher specifically for condos in places like South Florida, all over Florida, because of the legislation, because of the condo association rules. We're going to see some of that. So home buyers, this is really good news for you, because when you were buying a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you were competing with droves of people. You're still going to compete with a lot of people right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we went through a little bit of an adjustment period here later in the year. Then next year, things will pick up again like they always do. Okay? But buyers should embrace this. Buyers should be excited. Look at myself, buyers. I did not buy in Florida in 20 or 21, but now I'm starting to think about buying over the next year. Okay? Look at someone like me. I'm a seasoned real estate vet who's been buying properties for over 20 years. I did not buy when everybody was running to buy, but now I'm starting to look over the horizon and say, I'm going to be buying. Think about that, home buyers and home sellers, and particularly condo sellers. If you are selling, you've got to be realistic. If you are not realistic, you will have a hard time selling, and you will end up selling in the end for less than you would have if you were realistic from the beginning. Yes, it's a fact you missed the peak. You did. Now, if you're buying and selling, it doesn't really matter, because you're buying for a little bit better than you could have, and you're selling for a little bit less. If you're just selling, I understand it's frustrating, but you've got to be realistic. If you're not, in the end, it will cost you more. Our realtors at Lamacchia, Florida, in our Lamacchia, Florida branch office in Fort Lauderdale, cover all of Miami, all of Fort Lauderdale, up into West Palm, and north of there, up into Jupiter, Port St. Lucie. We have realtors that live all over the coast. We are here to help you. We are here to serve you. We will give you the right direction. So if you are thinking of selling, but maybe you're nervous, reach out to us. You're thinking of buying, maybe you're nervous, reach out to us. We're here for you. Good luck, happy home buying, and happy home selling. Thank you.